So good morning. This is something that I've actually thought about doing for quite a while. um, and making a daily vlog. And, well, I don't know about daily, but making a vlog anyway. And so I thought we would just try and experiment with the over the weekend and kind of give you an idea of what it's like a weekend in the life of a pastor. One of the things that's kind of held me back from doing this is just basically, I don't know, maybe being a little bit camera shy. But I've been using the Marco Polo app to talk to friends for about the last year and a half. And so that's kind of broke me of my, I guess, weirdness of talking in front of a camera. And so, not feeling the greatest this morning. Had a terrible night's sleep. Our air conditioning in our house is not working properly. It is working, but not working as good as it needs to work. And so it was hot. I am sore. I feel like somebody has beat me up in my sleep. I'm not totally convinced that my wife did not do that. But no, I spent 4 hours on a lawnmower. Not 4 hours. I mowed 4 acres on a lawnmower a couple of days ago with the help of a neighbor. I didn't do the whole 4 acres by myself, but and so anyway, that I guess the soreness is catching up with me. It was very rough yard to mow, and so that lawnmower kind of beat me to death. So I guess I'm just feeling that this morning. But anyway, about to head to town and go take care of a few things. We have our vacation Bible school Sunday night. We're doing it a little bit differently this year. So we're doing every other Sunday night. Yeah, confusing, right? But it's going good so far. So tomorrow night is our third one. And we are, of course, it's the 29th tomorrow night, last Sunday night before the 4th of July. So we're going to have fireworks for the kids afterwards, just some poppers, sparklers, stuff like that. And so we're going to go pick that up. And then we're going to go top off this vehicle with gas. I'm in my mom and dad's vehicle right now. Dad's kind of down with some health issues right now. And so anyway, we've had their vehicle for a day or two, probably still have it for a day or two more. So I just went and I'm going to go and top that off this morning before we get that back to them today or tomorrow. And we'll get some fireworks and then go to my office and try to see what we're going to preach on Sunday morning. I kind of had an idea of the way I was going to go, but I started doing my daily reading yesterday, and there was some verses that stood out at me, and so we're going to go do a little bit of digging into that and seeing if that's the direction the Lord wants us to go or not.
Sometimes to those we love, we forget, and it seems like they go away. We can't help it, we're just human. I guess it's in our DNA.
You can always tell someone who's from this area and someone who's not, because everybody from this area gets in the left lane to miss this big dip in the road right here, and that will throw your vehicle for a loop. And so anytime you see somebody run through that little dip right there, you know they're not from around here. Because most people that are from around here, they get in the left lane to miss it. I know I parked in the handicap spot. Nobody is going to be here other than me today. All right, we're back from town. I did record some footage of getting some gas in the vehicle and buying the fireworks, but then I realized I recorded all that in the wrong orientation. So I'm not going to get to use that, but that's okay. We'll get these fireworks inside and then kind of get settled in the office for a little while and start doing some studying.
There are times when we make promises, sometimes to those we love. We forget and it seems like they go away. We can't help it, we're just human. I guess it's in our DNA. But thank God that my Savior is not that way. Well, God's promises are not like man's. He didn't make them just to break again. He promised if we trust Him, He would save. His promises for you and me will last for all eternity, sinner.
So anytime we do fireworks for the kids, I like to kind of lay them out and on Sunday morning and let the kids see them as they come in for church on Sunday morning, and kind of build the anticipation for what we're going to do that night. Excuse me, after church. And so anyway, I always like to watch their faces when they come in and see the fireworks. We're not going to have a big fireworks display this year. We've done that before, but this year we're just going to have some sparklers, some poppers, smoke bombs. We'll have a few fountains, and I think I got some artillery shells. I'm not sure, I don't remember, but we'll have a few of those things. We've done big displays before and spent way too much money on that, and you know, we may do that yet in the future, but this time around it's just going to be basically stuff the kids can be hands-on with. You know, when you talk about getting into the big artillery shells and the big bottle rockets, you know, we light those and just let the kids watch. But this, especially being with our Vacation Bible School, we wanted to do something more of where the kids can be hands-on and be more involved than just sitting back and watching a big fireworks display. Well, I've been in my office for a few hours now, and it's about time to take a break. I'm about to head over to the house, and I think most of my family's in town right now. But anyway, I'm about to head over there and see what I can sniff out for dinner. It is hot here in Louisiana, that is for sure. It's well, according to my watch, it's 90 degrees, which is not all that bad considering how hot it's gonna get. I don't know what the heat index is, but anyway, the humidity is what kills you down here. We just upgraded our RV spots, our hookups. Man in our church just did that for us a few weeks ago, so he had to trench the line here and run new wiring, but we got this one and then this one and that one over there done. And so I had to get Dad's tractor over here the other day and get the dirt pulled back into the holes. I may or may not have ran over that barrel, but and it may or may not have been on purpose. But anyway, getting those ready. We have camp meeting coming up here in a few weeks, and so possibly going to have 2, maybe 3 campers out here for camp meeting. And so looking forward to that. So the reason we upgraded them, they've been in the ground for 20 years, and we were having problems out of one of them. We had 5 spots originally. Only one was a 50 amp, and the other 4 were 30s. And 30 amp is just, it's almost, especially down here in this Louisiana heat, pretty much every camper is going to have 50 amp, and you need that if you're going to have 2 ACs going, which most campers have that nowadays anyway. So we just upgraded 3 of them because as far as I know, since I've been here anyway, we've never used all 5. Rarely have more than 2. And so anyway, we just upgraded 3 of them and went to 50 amp on all 3 of them. See if the dogs bark at me. They love it when I come in. Nope. Chase. Bella, what are you doing? So, lunch is not ready yet, which is fine with me because I try to eat later in the day anyway. Trying to get back to sticking to my 1 meal a day. Trying to get back to sticking to that. Hopefully that's not too loud, those vents. Sometimes they do good, and sometimes they don't. But, been in the office for a little while. My wife and most of my kids are in town, and so they'll be back in a little while. But I think I'm going to run up to the store here in town and go get an afternoon pick-me-up. Go get a Monster. I know. Don't. I know. They're bad for you. I know. So is most everything else that's processed that we eat or drink. But tell me how much worse they are than Cokes and Pepsis and all that. Don't get me on a rant. Still unsure what we're preaching about in the morning. Very possibly going to be from John chapter number 15. That's where I was reading a few days ago. It really jumped out at me. Of course, very familiar passage. And the Lord said, "I am the true vine. My Father is the husbandman." And it's just a beautiful passage, but there's a lot of lessons in there that we can learn about being faithful to the Lord, about being fruitful for the Lord, which is what we're supposed to be. Our lives are to be fruitful. Our lives are to produce fruit for Him. Of course, there in that next verse, he talks about that every branch that doesn't produce fruit, He's going to take away. He's going to take it away. The branches that do produce fruit, they are purged. And in other words, they are pruned. They are cut back. He cuts the bad things out of our lives, even though a tomato plant, I have some tomato plants in my backyard, even though those tomato plants produce fruit, there's sometimes that they need pruning so they can produce more fruit. There's bad leaves, there's bad things that creep up on those stems of those tomato plants that, if left unchecked, will affect the rest of the plant. And that's what the Lord does in our lives. Even though we might be fruitful in one area, there might be another area of our life where some things are creeping in that the Lord is not pleased with. And so He prunes those things out of our lives. And basically, there's no way around it. If you're a child of God, if you're not living for Him, then be ready, because He is going to spank His child. He's going to bring discipline in your life. But at the same time, if you are living for Him and being fruitful, well, just know that trouble's coming, because He's going to purge those spots out of your life so you can be even more fruitful. At the time, purging doesn't seem good. It doesn't seem pleasant. But that's what the Lord does for us in our lives. This health, wealth, and prosperity gospel that your TV evangelists preach. And they say, if you live for God, then You'll never have a headache. You'll never want for anything. You'll be blessed financially. That's not true. Jesus said, if they persecuted me, they're going to persecute you as well. And he said, if they hated me, they're going to hate you as well. And so we ought not to get discouraged when the hard time comes and when the troubles come, but we ought to be encouraged, keeping our eyes on him, because he is the ultimate goal. He is the ultimate goal. Now, we know we're not working to get to heaven, but we want to work to please him. To hear when all this is over, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Boy, how humbling is that? Because there again, I know who I am, and I tell you, I'm not good and faithful, but I'm sure glad he is. And his goodness, his faithfulness compels me. It ought to compel all of us to want to be good and to be faithful back to him. All right, so I've got my Monster, and I'm gonna swing by the post office. And this lady's almost gonna run back into me, but she didn't. Run by the post office and check the mail for the church, and then head back to my office. We've been going through the book of Revelation on Sunday nights, and we have Vacation Bible School this Sunday night. So we've been doing VBS basically every other Sunday night through the summertime. So if we do every other Sunday night, that gives us 5 Sunday nights through the months of June and July. And so this coming Sunday night will be our 3rd Sunday night of Vacation Bible School, but that also corresponds with the last Sunday before the 4th of July. That's why we went and got the fireworks earlier. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. I know I mentioned it in one of the videos I recorded, but I think that was the one where I had my phone in portrait instead of landscape. And so anyway, we're going to be in the book of Daniel in chapter number 3 for our 3rd night of VBS. And it's been a couple of weeks since we've been in the book of Revelation. We only have a couple more chapters. We're starting in chapter number 21 is where we'll be next. And so my intent was to do that, to preach on that Sunday morning until the Lord kind of, looks like he's kind of redirected my thoughts over to John chapter number 15. And so, but anyway, that's where we stand right now. So who knows, we might end up being in the book of Revelation. Although I don't know. The John chapter number 15 is really starting to come together pretty good in my office. And been having a good time looking at it so far today. And so we'll see where it goes from there. So, just pulled back in at the church, and my family is home from Walmart, which means my bank account must be empty. So, which also means lunch should be ready soon. So, I think I'm going to head over to the house, and after we get back in right here, and see what we have to eat. All right, well, it's been a little while. We are back in the office, and went home a little bit earlier and got something to eat, and I've been back over here for a few hours now. Keep that closed so it'll stay cool in there. I've got some prayer letters here, missionary letters that I I got to get put out for tomorrow. Usually try to put the missionary letters out on Saturday night. It's a missions area here in our church, all the letters. Now it's we've taken on several more since we got those put up, and so I need to add more flags.
Everybody's busy each and every day, and it seems as though we never stop and take.
All right, so we've got the new letters put out, and I'll go back here and make a list of the new letters that came in for this week. I always try to announce it on Sunday mornings to our people, the new letters that we got in for the week. We support 56 missionaries now, and so we pretty much there's usually not a week that goes by that we don't get at least one or two prayer letters in. Most of the time it's 3 or 4 prayer letters, new prayer letters that we get in a week from missionaries that we support. And so I always try to let our people know on Sunday mornings what letters are new for the week, and encourage them to go by and look at our missionary letters and read them and see what the Lord's doing on the mission field, on that particular mission field. It's funny because we have some of our missionaries that their prayer letters look the same every month, whether they send them out monthly or whether they send them out quarterly. And there's some of them who like to change them, and it's always hard on me when they change them because I recognize them by the design of the prayer letter, and when they change the design of the prayer letter, it makes it difficult for me to find them. So if you are one of the missionaries that we support and you like to change your style and color scheme and layout of your prayer letter on a monthly basis or quarterly basis, please stop that. You confuse me. So I'm headed home for the evening. Well, it's got a little close there. I'm headed home for the evening, and I've got to go do some haircuts for a couple of my sons, and then I'm gonna snag a couple of books here and take them home with me for tonight, so I can do some more studying here into the evening after I go take care of these haircuts. So it has been a long day. I think I told you already earlier today that I did not sleep well last night, and it is definitely catching up with me. I would be lying if I said that I did not catch a little bit of a nap in my chair in my office after I came back. Boy, isn't that beautiful? The clouds, not me. That's ugly. That's beautiful. And almost like there's a God in heaven, isn't it? But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I did catch a little bit of a nap sitting in my chair. I love that chair. I bought it last year, and it has a footrest that pulls out and it reclines, and so I may have taken advantage of that this afternoon. But now I'm gonna cut some hair and get ready for the evening and do some more studying tonight and getting prepared for the morning. All right, well, it is the next morning and headed over to the church. I'm getting a bit of a late start. I usually like to try to be over here at the church at about 7 in the morning on Sunday mornings. It's about 7:30 now. So anyway, we got a truck in the church parking lot. I woke up to a message on our church's Facebook Messenger account. And the lady said her husband's truck broke down. They're supposed to come get it today, so I said it's no problem at all. Glad they let us know what was going on with it, but I think she said they broke a belt or something, so I'm gonna try to come get it fixed and get it moved today. So. All right, well, let's go through the church. And the very first thing I usually do on Sunday mornings, but after that, go through and make sure all the units are turned on for foyer, Sunday school room, Sunday school rooms, auditorium, stuff like that. So let's go cool off.
While God is waiting for us to make our requests known.
So our church foyer used to be this ugly gold color, and we repainted the foyer in the front hallways, but still have to replace or repaint this back hallway where the Sunday school rooms are to this gray color. I like the gray much better.
And take the time to pray. All the time we're trying to fight our battles all alone, while God is waiting for us to make our requests known. 'Cause the power of prayer will live.
All right, that's all the units turned on.
Power of prayer will make the wounded whole. The power of prayer will change a heart and soul. The power of prayer works anywhere you go.
So the units are turned on, the front doors are unlocked. Not all the lights are on yet, but they don't all need to be on yet. And I'm gonna get in here in my office and finish getting ready for services.
Children, when we have a need, and life could be so simple if we just trust Him and believe. 'Cause the power of prayer will lift you up when you're feeling low. The power of prayer will make the wounded whole. The power of prayer will change a heart and soul. The power of prayer works.
So my office now is relatively small. I had a much larger office last year, and the office that I did have is the room next to us. But one thing I did hate about being in that office was there was no way to see out front. So I would be sitting in my office during the week, and we were on a main highway, and I would constantly hear vehicles coming through the parking lot. People come through all the time and turn around. And but I couldn't see what was going on. It would always drive me crazy sitting in my office. So now I have a way to be able to see who's out here. So this was the secretary's office, and one of these days I'll give you an office tour, and my office is a little bit cleaner and not quite so messy. But this was our secretary's office, and so we started painting in here and putting new flooring down. And then as I was almost done with that project, I thought, this would be a great office for me. I don't need all that room that's next door. And we were going to put a second desk in for the treasurer as well. And so I thought, well, I'll just give the bigger office to the treasurer and secretary and take the smaller office for myself. And then I can see what's going on, even though that door is awful dirty. Yeah, leave me alone on that. But so I swapped offices with the secretary and took the smaller office where I had the front door, the glass front door, where I can see who's coming in and out of the parking lot, because the secretary, they're not here through the week. They're only here on Sundays. And every now and then will somebody come up here, the treasurer or secretary, and use the secretary's office next door. So they don't need to see out front as much as I do. And so anyway, yeah, one of these days I'll get it cleaned up in here, and I'll give you a little bit better office tour. Well, it is about 9:20 now, and so people will start getting here soon. I got a few that get here pretty early. My sons have already started to come in. So anyway, I went ahead and got my tie on and got presentable for when people start arriving. But anyway, just been sitting here for the last little bit and just trying to get ready and get myself ready and talk with the Lord a little bit, and looking forward to the services this morning. Kind of expecting maybe a smaller crowd today. I know we've got a few out that are sick. My oldest son, he'll be out preaching. He'll be away preaching this morning, filling in at a church that is without a pastor. And then, of course, my dad had an injury this past week. He fell, so my parents won't be here. So kind of expecting maybe a little bit lower crowd this morning, which is a little bit discouraging. It's always kind of discouraging when you already know of a bunch of people that's going to be out anyway. But anyway, the Bible said where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, he said he would be there in the midst. And so as long as the Lord's here, he's the only one that matters. So that's what we're praying for this morning, the Lord to meet with us. Well, Sunday school is just about over, and we're going to go in men's prayer room here in just a minute, and then go into service. So looking forward to seeing what the Lord has for us this morning.
Time and time again, they've never asked the Lord to save them, and it seems they never will. But just keep right on praying, 'cause God is mighty still, and the power of prayer will lift you up when you're feeling low. The power of prayer will make the wounded whole. The power of prayer will change a heart and soul. The power of prayer works anywhere you go.
Everybody take a book stand and turn to number 206. Number 206. One Miss Jennifer Slade. Sweet by and by. Of the pieces he got it thrown.
Yes, amen.
Over and over. He molds me and makes me.
Time to go get something to eat. I'm hungry. And just like that, lunch is over. Lay down for a little bit. Usually don't take a Sunday afternoon nap. I don't have time for that. Even if I did, I wouldn't do it because it Anytime I've ever done it in the past, it always makes it harder to go to sleep on Sunday nights for me. I don't know. Even a 5-minute nap ruins sleep for me on Sunday night for some reason. But anyway, got all my stuff together. See if I can open this door and not drop my phone. There we go. So, back in my office and drop my shoes on the floor. And we're going to start getting ready for service tonight. This is the third night of our VBS. I think I've already explained that. We're doing Vacation Bible School every other Sunday night through June and July. And we had such a busy summer scheduled. I really didn't have 1 week that I could really dedicate to Vacation Bible School. And so I thought this might be a good way to get people to come to church, Sunday night church, who might not typically come. And I was hoping it would be a good way for parents, not only for kids to come, but for parents to bring them and come with them. So that was kind of my goal, my intention. It's kind of worked out like I'd hoped, but maybe kind of not really. But I don't know. It is what it is. We'll see how it goes. You know, if it doesn't work out, then next year we'll do it differently. Got about 40 minutes before church time and VBS, and so they're practicing and getting set up for the game tonight. Well, we had a good night of VBS and had nachos after church and fireworks. It's why I'm in my casual clothes, but decent turnout of kids. But tell you what, that's twice as hard. It's just preaching a regular Sunday night service. Just trying to get everything turned out now and get ready to go home. I don't know if there is a way. Got our TV on back here. Scrolling through our slides that we have on Sundays. Well, I don't know if there is a way to describe the relief. I don't know if relief, I don't even know what the right word is. Just, I don't know, the relief, I don't really know what word to use. After a Sunday, when you've had a burden on your heart and you preach that burden and you feel like what you've done what the Lord has wanted you to do, you preach what the Lord has wanted you to preach. And of course, you don't always get the outcome, you don't always get the reaction that you want. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But there's just a relief that comes after you have delivered the message that the Lord has wanted you to deliver. And I don't know, it's hard to explain. I'm wore out. I'm absolutely tired, as if I'd have worked a 12-hour day. And but just the burden, getting the burden across. I don't even know what all I'm trying to say. It's just Sunday nights is just kind of a release. You know, I don't know if that makes sense. I don't even know if I know 100% what I'm trying to say, but I don't know. It's just Sunday nights are a relief. And like I said, you don't always see the results. You want to see what's a beautiful sunset. Well, you don't always see the results that you want to see, but Lord also said that his word would never return void. So, you know, just because we don't see the results we want to see, just because we don't have the people came that said they would come and promised us they would come, and then they don't show up. People that are out sick, you know, it burdens you. It discourages you if you're not careful. But then there are others there that say, I really needed that. And, you know, you can only help the ones that are there. And, you know, that's the goal, is to try to be a help, to be a blessing, to feed God's people and be an encouragement to them, and just encourage them to go on and serve the Lord. So I'm tired, wore out, and ready for a shower. That smells like fireworks.